Okay, so 3.3 and 3.4 is going to be about slope and a slope intercept form. So basically, we'll be using, we'll be finding the slope and finding the, and putting it into a standard form. Okay. So I don't think we started, I think we started this problem, right? And we stopped. Yeah, I remember this. So we are on example 3. Okay. This would be 3.3 and 3.4. Slope and slope intercept form. Example 3. Okay. So an architect is designing a house with the roof as illustrated on the right. Find the slope of the roof. Okay. So we have make a little note here. We have a height, it appears of 14 feet. That's what I'm understanding. And then we have a distance from here to here of 24. So the rise is going to be 24. I mean, the run is 24 and the rise is 14. Okay, so let me write this down on the paper. Okay, so we have this triangle. Find the slope of the roof. Given this triangle. So I'm going to draw the piece that we found. So this is 24. This is 14. So we should know that the slope is equal to the rise over the run, or the, let me use the, or the change in y over the change in x, which is going to be 14 feet over 24 feet. So reduce this fraction and we'll have the slope. Let me grab the calculator. I don't know where I left my yellow calculator. We'll just have to use this guy, the black one. Okay, so it's similar, but it should reduce it for us. So 14 over 24, 7/12, right? So 2 goes into both. You could show the work if you want to and say, you know what, this is 2 times 7 over 2 times 12 feet. Cancel the 2's, which gets me 7/12 feet. So that'll be the slope of the roof. But you don't have to. You can use a calculator if you want to skip to here to here. Okay. Anyway, any questions on number 3? Okay. Let's move on to something else then. So a lot of the questions in this homework is going to be about finding the line passing through certain points. So I'm going to give you a note here. To find the equation of a line, you will need 2 points or a slope and 1 point. You need one of those things. Okay. If you don't have that, you can't do it. Example 4 gives us 2 points. It says find the line passing through these points, calculate the slope. That's what they want. So I think later they'll make us find the line. Let me check. Nah, they don't ask, but we're going to do it anyway, just in case. Just in case. Okay. Example 4. Calculate the slope and find the equation of the line. So I'm going to add an extra step here. In case it comes up in your homework. I'm sure it's going to come up later. Given 3, -1 and 5, 4. So they gave us 2 points. So we are able to find the slope and we are able to find the equation of the line. So make a note that this is x1 and y1. This is x2, y2. Okay. So m is equal to y2 minus y1. That's our formula. x2 minus x1. So these minuses are built in. So if these are negative as well, then they're just going to have a double minus. It depends on which one goes where. So we got y2 is 4 minus a -1. So see how we have a double negative right there? Then we have x2 minus 3. The minus will be 4 plus 1. Negatives cancel. 5 minus 3 is a 2. So we have 5 over 2. So there is a slope. Now to find the equation, use this formula right here. So y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So all you have to do is plug in the slope and plug in any point. So I'm going to use this guy, I guess. Okay, so we get, I'm going to make a note here, plug in m equal to 5 halves and 3, -1. So that'll give us y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. So this will become y plus 1 equal to 5 halves x minus 15 over 2. So you have to distribute to both of them. So you see how it's 5 halves times x, 5 halves times -3, right? That's where this came from. You guys cool from here to here? Okay. At this point, add one to subtract one actually. Minus one. So now we have y equal to 5 halves x minus 15 over 2 minus 1. So this one is use your calculator because that's easier. So we got a negative fraction, 15 over 2, right? Minus 1. So negative 17 over 2. So this becomes right there. So our final answer will be y equals to 5 halves x minus 17 over 2. The only one was the slope. So technically, finding the m and just finding the points is good enough for this question, but I want you to be able to do that as well. So there's 3, -1, and there's 5, 4. So draw a line, and we get oops. Get that guy. Okay. So all they wanted was this and you plotting 2 points. But you do need to know how to do this part. Okay. You guys cool on this page? I'm gonna do one more and then we'll move on. Okay, let's do number 6, I guess. Find the slope and the equation of the tangent line. Given this point here, 6, -4, and 1, -4. Okay, so write down the formula, that way we don't forget it. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is going to be -4 minus, well, actually it turns out to be the same. Interesting. 1 minus 6. So on the top, you're going to get -4 plus 4. 1 minus 6 would be a -5, so this would be 0. So the slope is 0. Which means the equation is just going to be y equal to a horizontal line at -4. So that's the equation of the line, and that's the slope. But let's see it visually, like why is that? So 6 -4 is right here, right? And the other point, 1 -4, it's right there. So if you connect these two dots, clearly we're going to have this going on, horizontal line. So there's no slope because it's horizontal. So it's not really climbing, it's not changing, just constant. So whenever you get a slope of 0, the line equation would just be y equal to this -4, the y value. Any questions on 6? Okay. So this next one, I want you to think about this. So here is the average price of a gallon of milk, right? So January 2017, it was $3.19. Then look at it fluctuating over time, right? What do you notice as the year goes by? Right, look at this is the graph of the data points of the prices. What do you think the slope's going to be, positive or negative? Well, they want us to interpret it once we calculate it, but you can kind of see it. Right, you see how it's increasing, right? On average. Yeah, so it's going to be positive because it's increasing. So if you see an upward trend on anything, right, it should have a positive slope. You see it going downward, then that'll be a negative slope. So even though we haven't solved it yet, we should be able to see what's going to happen. So let's do that one. So one more thing before we start. Notice notice that the months are corresponding to 1, 2, 3, all the way to 12, right? January is first. So this is like the point right here. This is like the point 1 comma 3.19, I guess. Hard to write with this thing, but you see what I mean? This is the X value, the January month, first month, at this Y value, 3.19. So we just gotta choose 2 points, doesn't matter which one, to find the slope. So I'm gonna choose, I don't know, I guess the first one and the last one. Doesn't really matter. Maybe, I don't know, maybe these two. I use those two. So I'm gonna write down what those points are. I'll switch over in just a second. It doesn't matter which numbers you choose. Okay, so example 8. I'm choosing February. Find the slope. And interpret. So we have the February point, 2 comma 318. And the March point, which will be 321. 3 comma 321. Let me switch back now. Okay, so this is February. This is March. So the slope, when we find it, should be positive because it is trending upward. So this is my x1, y1, x2, y2. So the slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is equal to 3.21 minus 3.18 over 3 minus 2. So that would be 0.03 over 1. So the slope is just 0.03. So it's positive. So the rate of increase is about 3 cents. Not exactly, right? Because this is a trend line. It's not a perfect line. So it's about an average rate. It's increasing on average by about 3 cents. Because so notice how the first point is just 1 cent, and then after that is 3 cents, and after that is 2. It's 1. So it's shifting. But anyway, that's all they want you to do is pick 2 points, find the slope, and understand what it means. It's positive, therefore prices are going up on milk in this example. Any question on number 8? Okay. Let's move on then. Okay, intercepts. I think we mentioned this once before. So I feel like we did. So Yeah, let's go ahead and let me write you the note one more time. You guys remember? I'll turn the page here. You said in the notes, it's the ugliest N I've ever written. Okay. Note. This would be for finding intercepts. Remember we said that for x-intercept, you let y equal to 0 and you solve for x. Number 2, y-intercept, we said let x equal 0 and you solve for y. So in example 9, they're asking you to graph each one, graph each equation, and identify the slope, x-intercept, and y-intercept. Okay, so this is for the next couple of problems. So number 9, we'll write it down here. 2x plus y is equal to 1. So if we solve for y, then we'll have most of the information. So let me write a note over here as well. Slope intercept form. Y is equal to mx plus b. So if it's in this form, the m is the slope. The b is the y-intercept, right? I know we mentioned this. So you can find the y-intercept like this or like this. It's up to you. Okay. So let's do the intercept. Let's do x-intercept, the way we talked about last time. Let y equal 0. That'll give us 2x equal to 1. Let me show an extra step. It'll be equal to 2x plus 0 equal to 1. Because you're plugging the 0. So solve for x, we'll have to divide by 2. X is equal to 1/2. So there is my x-intercept. Y-intercept, they could do it the same way. Let x equal 0, and we get 2 times 0 plus y equal to 1. So 0 plus y equals 1. That's it. Y is equal to 1 is the x-intercept. Sorry, y-intercept. Okay, so that's what we did last time. I think it was sometime last week. But if you were to solve for y, you'd have most of the information. So all you would have to do is do this one. So we do it that way. We'll do the same question on the next page, I guess. Well, I think we might have space. Let me see. So that's one piece here, one piece there. So solve for y will give us all the almost all the information. So we have 2x plus y equal to 1. Subtract 2x on both sides and we get y equal to negative 2x plus 1. So the slope is equal to 2, negative 2. The y-intercept is equal to y equals to 1. And then the x-intercept we found earlier, which is 1/2. So this is the only one that we had to do the other way. But notice if you solve for y, you get most of it, right? There's y-intercept, there's slope. Any questions on this problem here? All right, so let's do number 10, but this time we're just gonna solve for y first. That way we have all the information. Okay. They did ask us to graph, so 0, 1 is the y-intercept. 1/2 was the x-intercept, so about here. Our slope was negative, so it should be going downward from left to right. So something like this. So you can plot it pretty easily with the intercept. We got that one and that one. You can also use the slope to plot. Technically, like if you were to, oops. Let's say we plotted 0, 1, right? We had the y-intercept and then we had the slope. The slope is equal to negative 2. So that would mean that we'd have to go down to over 1. So we get another point right there. Down to over 1. You can keep doing that forever until you get as many points as you want. So you could graph that way if you want to. But this is the same thing. Just remember that m is equal to negative 2, which is the same as negative 2 over 1. All right, so that's my slope. So I go down to over 1. Rise is negative, run is positive. That's why I got those points. So you can do it that way. But anyway, I'm going to do number 10. You guys have any question on 9, let me know. Okay, number 10. 3y is equal to x minus 3. So same instructions. Find the slope, find the x-intercept, find the y-intercept. So what I recommend is solve for y first. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. Or if you prefer every single term by 3, that is the same thing. So we get y equal to, you can also write this as 1/3 x if you want to. X over 3 is the same as 1/3 x. 3 over 3 is the same as 1, right? They reduce. So right there, you can see that the slope the slope is equal to 1/3, which is the rise over run, right? The y-intercept, we can see, is going to be -1, right? It's right there. So solving for y gets us 2 in the answers. To find the x-intercept, we have to let y equals 0, and then we solve for x. So x-intercept, let y equals 0, and solve for x. Now you could use either equation, the one we just found, or the original. The original might be a little easier to find for x because there's no fractions on the x, but this one does have one. It doesn't matter though, it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna use the original. So this becomes 0. I add 3 over. So this is my x-intercept. So they wanted the slope. They wanted the y-intercept. And x-intercept. So I think this method is a little easier. Guys have any questions on that? Okay. You guys cool on lines for 3.3 and 3.4. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to something else. Okay. Let's move on to 4.1 then. 4.1, I think starts off pretty chill. Let's see. It's about patterns. So 4.1, inductive and deductive reasoning. So identify the pattern and then use the pattern to predict the next items. Okay. Let me see. This is 4.1. Inductive and deductive reasoning. Example 1. Okay. So you put the instructions first. Identify the pattern. then predict the next items. One, 3, 5, 7, 9. So what pattern do you see? I'll let you think about it while I look something up. Five over M. Okay. So there's a couple ways to think about this. We can think of it as a sequence, but we should see that all we're doing is we're adding 2, right? So the pattern is basically n plus 2. So n is the number you start on. So if we call for the sequence, right? Let's say I call it an is equal to n plus 2. N starts at 0, or sorry, at no, actually, I wouldn't know where it started. 0. I think that might be a weird way to think about it. Hold on a sec. So we're adding 2 each time. So the next one should be 11 and 13. Right? Nothing crazy. Next one. Do you see the pattern here? Oh, I see. I remember. Sorry, I was couldn't come up with a general pattern. It's going to be 2n plus 1, right? If n is 0, we get a0 equal to 1. Right? You would get 2 times 0 plus 1, which is 1. If a is 1, you would get 2 times 1 plus 1, which is 3. When the a is 2, you get 2 times 2 plus 1, which is 5. So this is my a1, a2, a3. So you can create a general formula that creates all the terms. So you can choose the 30th term and just plug in 30. See what I mean? So this is first term, a1, second term, a2. They didn't ask for all this, but this is technically what's happening. All I want to know is fill in this blank, but it is good to know, it is good to be able to build your own formula, your own sequence. And that's might not be handy. It might not come up in this class, but if you ever do programming, this was pretty helpful. Excuse me. Okay. Do you see the pattern for number 2? This one's not as obvious, I don't think. These are powers of 3. 3 squared is 9, 3 cubed is 27, 3 to the 4th is 81. 3 to the 0 is 1. So the formula, if they ask for it, which they don't, would be 3 to the n, where n is equal to 0. Well, where n starts at 0, I should say. So that's the formula that they didn't ask about. So just to show you, 3 to the 0 is 1. 3 to the 1 is 3. 3 to the 2. Oops. All right, if you keep going, see how now I got 27. So this is a0, this is a1, a2, a3, a4, a5. So this will be the 6th and 7th term right here. So you'd have to just simply do 3 to the 6, 3 to the 7. So that's 729. That's 2187. Okay. So a0 is equal to 3 to the 0, which is 1. a1 is equal to 3 to the 1st, which is 3. a2 is 3 squared, which is 9. All the way until we get to a6, which is 3 to the 6, which we got 729. A7 is 3 to the 7, 2187. So all they wanted you to do is find the pattern, right? So this is the answer, you would say. The pattern is powers of 3, and the missing I guess I should say the next 2 items. That's how they phrased it. The next 2 items is 729, 2187. So this is all they wanted. Like, identify the pattern, tell me the next 2. This right here is I'm just trying to show you how these are created, right? Once you find the formula, you can plug in any number and you'll find whatever term you want. If you want the 40th term, then plug in 40. Does that make sense? So here we have some that are dealing with shapes instead of numbers. But let's go ahead and move on. You guys are cool with finding the missing terms and identifying patterns. Okay, let's do these right here. Oops. So select a number, add 5. So I'm gonna add 5 to it, and then I have to double the result, subtract 4. So here's 4. First thing you need to do is add 5 to it, right? So that'll give us a 9. Double the result. Well, we got a double 9, so the double will be 18, right? Subtract 4, well, that's going to be oops, that's not right. 4. All right, once you've done that, it says subtract the original number. So that was this piece. The original was 4. So 14 minus 4, 10. So this is basically a complicated pattern that's doing it all in pieces, right? So add 5 to the 4, double the result, subtract 4, subtract the original. Do you guys see where these numbers came from? Let's do another one, I guess. You have 9. If you add 5 to it, that's going to be 14, right? If you double it, subtract 4. Subtract the original number, which is 9. 24 minus 9, that's going to be 15. Okay. One more time. Add 5. Subtract double the result. Subtract 4. Oops. Computer froze on that one. And then subtract the original. So that will be 21. So apply the given procedure for several different numbers and make a conjecture of how to calculate them. But basically, this time they kind of want us to make that formula. So over here, I'm gonna write down those numbers over here. Example 6, we found the numbers to be, if I plugged in 4, I did a bunch of stuff and I got a 10, right? Plugged in 9, did a bunch of stuff and got 15. 15, I plugged in a bunch of garbage, got 21. Okay. So in English, they said they add 5, then double. Then double. Then subtract 4. Then subtract the original. Okay. So we'll call this some sequence AN. So they're going to double the result of the number you choose plus 5, right? So the number I choose, you add 5 and double it, right? Then it says subtract 4. Then it says subtract the original. So this is the original being added to 5 or by 5, doubled, minus 4, and then subtract the original. So let's clean this up, right? Do our algebra. This gives us 2n plus 10 minus 4 minus n. So this will give us n plus 6. So all this roundabout stuff, all we are really doing is adding 6. You see what I mean? Once you find the formula and simplify it, we can ignore all this garbage and say, all right, all they did was add 6 to the original number. Given 4, add 6 and you get 10. Given 9, add 6, you get 15. 15, add 6, you get 21. So now you can find all the answers on the on this problem. Does that make sense? So we got 10, 15, 21. So the n is going to be plus 6, be the pattern. you see how we came up with this? We could do it piece by piece, right? Right, we're choosing some, see how that last part, they say n. So just pretend instead of a 4, pretend it's an n. So you add 5 to it. You then double it times 2. Subtract the 4. That's where this came from. Then subtract the original, which is n to begin with. Simplify this and you get the pattern. Okay. Okay, I guess we'll stop here. So on Thursday, we'll be on campus and we're gonna review for exam 1. I don't think we've done review yet, right? Pretty sure we haven't. So yeah, I'll see you Thursday, and I think the exam is already open. Let me double check. I already forgot. Yeah, there it is. So make sure so the review that's in there, we'll try to do that together in class. Maybe you guys can practice with me, and you have questions, etc. Make sure you bring them Thursday. Okay. Haven't put a due date on the exam yet, but I will soon. So we'll talk about that Thursday. So I'll see you in class Thursday.